Number 74 in 88 Films Italian range is Violence in a Women's Prison. Now, I wasn't sure what I was getting here. I knew this was one of a sequel of Emmanuel rip-off type things, and it was directed by Bruno Mattei. That's an alarm bell right away. You know that this guy is just not great. He's, well, I can't say that I love many of his films, but I was surprised to find that I think Violence in a Women's Prison is probably one of the best ones that Mattei has done, and I could be alone on that. I love this one. At the start of it, we have a bus that's on the way to prison. A police car pulls up, they put a prisoner onto it, Emmanuel, our main character, and they're led to this prison where the warden brutally rules the roost here. She tortures the inmates. She allows them to be beaten, to be raped. She takes pleasure in seeing both the sexualization and the brutalization of the prisoners within this. She takes a morbid pleasure in doing these to the characters. The characters are just struggling to get by, trying to make the best of what they can in this prison life, but the warden is going to make things as difficult as possible. Whether they beat them, whether they lock up our main character in a cell that is just teeming with rats that are crawling over our person, eating them alive. It has these wonderful moments of extreme nonsense, is the best way to put it. This is a small cast, and there are minimum locations within this prison, and you never really see outside of that. You just have this contained cast in this confined locations, and they just let the pot boil perfectly. Midway through the film, there is a kind of twist where the warden discovers that one of the inmates in her prison is a reporter who took off her own back to sneak into prison, and no one knows she's there, and she is going to take extra pleasure in torturing, berating, and maybe even murdering this person that tried to stop her from running her prison the way she wanted.
Now you're going to explain, peacefully and precisely, the main reason a common hooker like you is poking her nose in places where it doesn't belong.
A lot of the secondary characters within this are really kind of fun as well, whether it be the one that's on the warden's side that gets the kind of benefits of being her number two, watching the prisoners, taking notes, telling on them when she has to, or enforcing the warden's wishes when they have to as well, bringing her fresh meat to feed her compulsion of brutalising people sexually and physically. It's just incredibly entertaining. It's a weird kind of movie. Everyone, all the bad guys, are going to get their comeuppance.
But they always say, I'm not going to hurt you this time. And then they do.
But we're going to have to work to get there as the people are put through the trials and tribulations of a kind of typical women in prison movie. It's carrying on from that yet again. You know how the Italians love to do their knockoffs, their variations of movies that are successful at the time. It's a little bit later than most of the other ones, around about that, but it definitely plays into the women in prison themes, tropes, but it's quite assured in the way it delivers it. I thought the performances were fine. I liked the warden. She was despicable, hateful, a great antagonist, and when you've got a great antagonist, it really lifts everyone else in the film, particularly our heroine, who you want to succeed and escape the clutches of this mad woman who's run amok with her power. Violence in a Women's Prison was surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting much, particularly when the director's name popped up. But other than that, I found myself won over pretty quickly by this one. entertaining, fun, twisted, a little bit dark in moments, but generally just an easy watch at 99 minutes. So let's dive into some of the extras in Violence in a Women's Prison, see what it has to offer. Here we are in the disc for Violence in a Women's Prison. Let's go to the special features. First up we have a commentary. Then we have Clyde Anderson's Jail, an interview with Claudio Fragrasso, which is 44 minutes 25. This is really kind of fascinating. It talks about him kind of starting off with 8mm films when he was a teenager, making a bunch of films, getting into editing, meeting Bruno Mattei, and then working this strange partnership where they would film dual productions at the same time with one production budget. Next we have Dawn and Anderson, an interview with Gianni Leccia, which is 26 minutes 47 seconds, from Rome 2012. And finally we have Caracciolo, the Gay Prince, which is all about an actor who's in this movie and just gives you a run through of his career, and a little bit of his personal life, and it's fantastic. My favourite one on the disc was 29 minutes 22, and the trailer, which is 1 minute 59 seconds. That's the disc for Violence in a Women's Prison. So there we have it, number 74 in the Italian range, Violence in a Women's Prison. Probably one of the better Bruno Mattei films there, definitely better than a previous entry, Rats, that was in the Italian collection, which I just did not like. I should maybe give that a second chance, or maybe I was just right the first time. Either way, I would love to know your thoughts on Violence in a Women's Prison, whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. Let me know in the comment box below. We can have a little chit chat about this one. And if you think Mattei has a couple of good movies in his oeuvre, let me know in the comment box, because I always try to give this guy chances, but I feel like he never quite makes a decent film. And I kind of like most of the Italian directors, but he's one that I always kind of struggle against. Yeah. There's more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. In the description box are links to the Patreon, the membership program, and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.